What's up, Barbarians? Today we have the Frenzy Barb, and we are going to clear Pit 80. Alright. Drag him in, stomp on him, cut him up. That's how Frenzy works. And we use Ground Stomp to get Fury, which we only need at the start. We use Steel Grass to bring them close, to make them vulnerable, which is what we also use Ground Stomp for as well. Probably should have dragged those guys over. Like, bring this guy with us. So we are berserking all the time. Let's just back out here. Don't get hit by the fire. Bring that guy in. Try to get the damage guy first if you can. Sometimes you won't be able to do that. Now we're right on top of the fire. There we go. There we go. So the Frenzy Barb is pretty cool. We still have to use Earthquakes to proc her damage. And we do not use the Battle Trance. I wanted to use it, but the Locran's Amulet is way better. It scales up our damage better, if you have the Grandfather. If you don't have the Grandfather, then you can use Locran's Amulet. Talisman, I think it is. And we use the Pain Gorgers to make sure that we can gather enemies up and not just kill one at a time. There we go. Get the damage guys out of the way. Okay. Ah, the red spiders. The only thing about this variant of the build is that your cooldowns are a little longer than I'd like. That's the only thing that's kind of unfortunate. You could use the Ancient's Oath, and that would help tremendously. It won't give you as much damage, but it'll still give you enough damage. Right now we're using the Grandfather. So we gotta kill that one guy that's the damage buff guy. We can't really get to him. There we go. Now he's gone. And then everyone else just dies. Ground Stomp and Steel Grasp are our only ways to make things vulnerable. So very important to use that as much as you can. And to make this as tanky as possible, you could use the Battle Trance, but you won't be able to clear as high of a pit. That's why we use Locrans. Okay. Once there's not many left in the group, move on. And sometimes move around so you can position yourself better for the next Steel Grasp. That's the thing about controller. Like right there where you Steel Grasp to the air. It would have been a little nicer to Steel Grasp the enemies. Mid-season patch is coming up soon. Very excited to see what we get. Really hoping that we get some sort of buff. We definitely need one. So hopefully there'll be something good there for us. Maybe able to push some of the builds I've already built a little bit higher. That would be cool. I think the legendary glyphs could use a bump. I know they cut them all in half. But I mean, I think if you gave them a little increase, maybe 25 to 50% of an increase, that would be good. And if they bumped up our key passives, even bumped them all up by like 25%, just try that. I think that would be great. But one can hope. I mean, who knows what they're going to do. If they do nothing, then I can't see that happening, really. Because they did say it was about class balance. And for them to take away the Spiritborn mid-season, I don't know if that's the right thing to do. I think most people try the Spiritborn, love it, hate it, either way. But to nerf it, to get in line with everything else, I think would be a bad move. Do that for Season 7. Bring everything up a little bit. We don't need to be crazy overpowered. I think doing pit 150 in 3 minutes, 2 minutes would be quite pointless and boring. But if we could, even if we could just clear pit 140 and no further, I think that would be great. I'd be happy if some of these builds that I'm doing could easily clear 100. Alright, let's try to get a group here. There we go. Okay, here's the damage guy. Let's get this guy first. Perfect. Always get the damage guys first. That's why it's important that we use paint gorgers right now. Because we can't really just directly hit that one guy. Oh, now we're frozen. And the vampire guys with the barrier, that's a little harsh. There we go. Okay, now we need to find more enemies. There. Drag everyone in. And we're done. Alright. So the big thing with the boss, make sure you keep your vulnerability up. That is the main thing that we want. Vulnerability equals more damage. And of course, we also want to keep up our berserking, but that's quite easy to do. So once he's not vulnerable anymore, just keep going in between your steel grasp and your ground stomp. This guy will be done in no time. Get out of the way of her, but we can't move for some reason. There we go. Pit 80 done. Let's go over the build. In the helmet, we have the Ugly Bastard Helm. This helm is absolutely amazing for the build. It gives us lots of damage reduction and a huge increase to our damage. Next is the Shroud of False Death. 1 to all passives is absolutely amazing. Then we have the Pain Gorgers. Very important to have these, as Frenzy is a basic skill build, which means it's only single target. This is our only way to make this build to give more AoE. In the pants, we use the Aspect of Might for damage reduction with max life, resistance to all, ranks to Frenzy. We want Challenging Shout cooldown and Frenzy duration. In the boots, we have the Hectic Aspect with strength, max life, resistance to all, movement speed, and steel grasp stuns. Then we have the Aspect of Moon Rising with strength, max life, damage, chance for Frenzy to hit twice, and basic damage. With runes of Lith Tech, we only need 1 temper for chance to Frenzy hit twice. So try to get this as high as possible, and as you see, we don't need it to hit our masterworking, as now every time we use Frenzy, it's hitting twice. And we use basic damage, which will increase our Moonrise aspect, increase our adaptability aspect to give us more damage. Next we have the Magnum Opus, perfect for every dual wield build. Then you have the Shard of Rathiel, which is important for every basic skill build. Then we have the Grandfather. The Grandfather will give you the most damage, and for runes we use Pock Lack. Then we have the Ring of Starless Skies, and we use the Ring of Starless Skies because we are using the Shard of Rathiel. And in the other ring slot, we have the Ring of Adaptability with Strength, Critical Strike, Resistance to All, Wrath of the Berserker cooldown, and more basic skill damage. And in the amulet, we have Locran's Talisman. If you have the Grandfather, you want to use Locran's Talisman, as it will give you the most damage over using the Battle Trance and Ancient's Oath. If you don't have the Grandfather, use Ancient's Oath and the Battle Trance. This is still a very good combo, and it actually plays smoother than the Grandfather, but the Grandfather gives more damage. I find with the Ancient Oath variant, your skills have less cooldown, but doesn't do as much damage. Same with the Battle Trance. But if you're going for damage, you definitely want the Grandfather to be mixed with Locran's Talisman. Our weapon expertise is Two-Handed Axe. For skills, we have 7 points into Frenzy for Combat Frenzy, 3 points into Tempered Fury for the Magnum Opus. You need 1 or 2 points in Endless Fury. We take 7 points into Ground Stomp for Tactical Ground Stomp. We take Tactical Ground Stomp because we need more ways for our enemies to be vulnerable. Because we have 3 ways to have Berserking, we don't need Strategic Ground Stomp. 3 points in Imposing Presence, 3 points into Martial Vigor, 3 points into Belligerence, 1 point into Challenging Shout, 3 points into War Cry for Power War Cry, 3 points into Booming Voice. This was our last point we put into Guttural Yell, 3 points into Swiftness, 3 points in Aggressive Resistance, and this is an excellent damage reduction thanks to the Ugly Bastard Helm. That's why we have 9 ranks here thanks to the Ugly Bastard Helm. 3 points into Pit Fighter, 3 points into Slaying Strike, 7 points into Steel Grasp for Fighter Steel Grasp, and we need all 5 points here to reduce the cooldown as much as possible. If you're using the Ancient's Oath, you can take points out of here. As long as your cooldown is around 4 seconds, it plays very smoothly, which will be easy to get with the Ancient's Oath. 1 point into Thick Skin for 3 points into Counteroffensive, and 3 points to Irrepressible, 3 points into Duelist, 3 points into Invigorating Fury, and 3 points into Wrath of the Berserker for Supreme Wrath of the Berserker. And your key passive is Unconstrained. For the Paragon, your first board will be Ambidextrous. Your second board will be Carnage with Territorial. Your third board is Warbringer for Wrath. And if you're using the Ancient's Oath, you are going to input Ire for this board. Our fourth board is Weapon Master for Rumble. Our fifth board is Blood Rage for Challenger. So our first board, our second board is Carnage, then you path to the right for Warbringer, path to the left for Weapon Master, then Blood Rage is off of the Warbringer board. This build was a lot of fun to make, and it was really nice to see that the Ancient's Oath and the Battle Trance were quite competitive compared to the Grandfather with Locran's Talisman. I easily cleared 78 with the Battle Trance and the Ancient's Oath with 5 minutes to go, and here we cleared 80 with, I think it was 2 or 3 minutes to go with the Grandfather and Locran's Talisman. Overall fun build. I actually enjoy playing it better with the Ancient's Oath and the Battle Trance because it seems to be smoother and tankier. Even though you will have less life, because of the tankiness of the Battle Trance, it doesn't really matter, where the Grandfather gives us a lot of life. If you like Frenzy, give this build a try, and if you don't have all the pieces, definitely swap over to the Ancient's Oath variant. It's easy to swap between them as you only have to change 2 items and 1 glyph, and a couple Paragon points. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time.